All right, today I want to show you the 4 stages every agent builder goes through. Let's check those out. So the first stage is when we talk about the first stage, we are looking at the prompter. The prompter is the first stage, so that's very easy. So basically, you are now working with ChatGPT, you're working with Google Gemini or Perplexity, and you simply put in information into or give the agent information inside a chat window, and it gives you a reply, and that's the conversation that you have, and it has maybe some memory and it has some context depending on how long the conversation is, etc. And that's it. And it's really helpful. So many of us are working with such tools, obviously, on a daily basis. If you're not, you better have to test it out, and you better have to use those tools because they are leveraging your productivity. So very important stage, and you have to start here in order to understand what these tools are and what they can do. Next stage is the editor. The editor is basically something like, for example, an AI assistant inside your code editor. So you do have, for example, VS Code with Copilot. You're working on code, and Copilot is there, and it's helping you to understand your code and your project, or to solve specific questions related to specific parts of your code, more like that. All right, so it has basically access to certain sections. It doesn't have the full context, but it has access to a specific section. It helps you to write code faster, get inline suggestions, for example, ask questions about the file you are editing. Yeah, that's what you can do. And then what you cannot do in this stage as the editor, you cannot let the AI work across the entire code base. So that is something you cannot do at the editor stage. That's what you then can do when you enter the collaborator stage. That is really interesting because the collaborator is something more like, Claude Code or Cursor or Gemini CLI. So it's an agent who understands a lot more about your project, and maybe really a lot, especially if you do your work well. If you, for example, have a Claude MD or an agent MD that instructs the agent and gives guardrails and gives the agent the right amount of information, and for example has a docs folder or a rack system, and the agent understands a lot more of your project and can, of course, do a lot more for you in this case. Yeah, what you cannot do, however, is to trust the agent blindly. Yeah, that's still basically something you do not want to do at this stage because, well, okay, there are some of you guys are running agents here on autopilot. I know this, but my preference is not to do it. I prefer to catch bugs and issues a lot earlier, and then to create guardrails so that the agent, when I work, improves in productivity according to the context and intent that I give to the agent. So that is something I find hugely important at this stage. Then the next stage, or the final stage at this current time, it's the architect. The architect is someone who orchestrates, who has, for example, tools like LangChain, LangGraph, and who has custom orchestration, and who builds systems that scale beyond what any single person could manage. Automated testing pipelines, multi-agent code review, and self-healing deployment systems. That is basically having multiple agents working together based on your design, based on what you understand of the world. And that is now very important also to understand that you cannot skip earlier stages. You need to master this stage here, the collaborator stage. You need to understand how to give guardrails to your agents in order to actually move on to the next stage here, to the architect stage. Now, wherever you are, that doesn't matter. Most important is you start somewhere, and if you haven't started yet, you better start here with the prompter, because you can learn a lot and understand how agents are working, how different they are. They are very different, these agents, and how the results are, how different the results are of their output. so that you can slowly move up the stages towards the editor, collaborator, and who knows, the architect. So that's it for today. I hope this information is valuable to you. Again, I do have the Agent Power Level framework that is based on that kind of, based on these stages. So check this out at the Agent Build Academy. Don't forget to subscribe. Come back if you like and enjoy. Connect with us. Let's build a great, beautiful world. That's it. Bye-bye.